I right now am getting ready to celebrate my 7-year mark, which is huge. Any time clean is huge for people. So the way that I have decided to celebrate is to share stories of recovery. I am a podcaster. I actually have 3 different podcasts. And I am going to be doing bonus episodes on the podcasts. Oh, thank you very much. So just so everybody knows, I have this going live on 3 different devices to multiple places. So I may be responding to comments that you're not seeing. So bear with me. What I am doing is I am inviting others to share their stories of recovery as well. Because we do recover. We do get better. So I am sending out an invitation across the masses here for people to come on my podcast and share their recovery stories. Pull my hair out of my way. I'm going to work on my makeup while I do this because I've got 3 podcast episodes today. To be on one of my podcasts, it's actually a really simple process. All you have to do is send me an email to podcast@thisfatgirllife.com. I don't know if anybody wants to type that in comments because I can't do that right this second, but I can send out a post later. But just send me an email letting me know that you would like to share your recovery story, and I can send you the online form to start the process. And it's a very simple process. You fill out an online form, an online guest form, and then I respond with my calendar to set up a Zoom meeting. Once that Zoom meeting happens, then I will send you an invitation to actually schedule an appearance or schedule your episode. The episodes stream live to Facebook. After it's over on Facebook, I upload it to my YouTube channel, to my Instagram, to everywhere. So it's on multiple social media sites. And then I email you the link of where you can find it so that you could share it wherever you would like. Like I said, bear with me. I've got 3 podcast episodes today. So makeup needs to happen. Get the other eye. I can't talk while I'm doing eye pencil. This is a struggle for me. Hi, Bob. So Bob, what I'm doing is I'm kind of sharing what I'm, kind of what I do. This month I'm celebrating 7 years clean. And I am celebrating with my podcast. So I am inviting people to come on my podcast and share their recovery stories. It's one of those things that when you're an addict or deal with any type of addiction, it becomes very shameful. That's the only way I really can word it. It's hard. And it's something that you don't always want to talk about. You don't want to admit it. I spent a lot of time very much ashamed of the fact that I was an addict. It took a long time to get to the point where I could very proudly talk about it. But now I'm there. And I want to help others, in their recovery process as well. That's why I do what I do. So yeah, that's what this is about. So, if anybody is interested, again, they can email me at podcast@thisfatgirllife.com. And I am happy. Co-host request. No. I'm happy to respond to any questions anybody has. That's kind of what I'm here for. As a podcaster, my focus is to help others to know their worth and love themselves in the body that they are in. I personally struggled with that for 36 years. In fact, hell, while I'm doing this, I might as well just put my whole story out there. So you guys are about to get a whole earful. As a child, I was sexually assaulted for over a year by my stepfather. I heard from him that, the line of, I do these things because I love you. That screwed me up. Because all I ever thought then was that love was supposed to hurt me. And so I went through the beauty that is puberty and those glorious teenage years, which suck. And that's what I expected. It's what I expected out of my first marriage. Went through a very abusive marriage. But I had, got a beautiful daughter out of it. So that was worth it. Went into my second marriage, which was just as abusive, if not more so, because my second husband not only physically abused me, but there was a lot of mental abuse, a lot of manipulation, a lot of control. It was bad. My second marriage is where I was introduced to drugs. It started as a shoulder injury. And because I tore my rotator cuff, my first husband, who was already an addict, gave me a shot of Dilaudid. And it took away the pain. Made me sick as all get out, but it took away the pain. And I was able to function a little bit. So when I had to go to the ER for it, that's what they gave me in the ER, was more Dilaudid. And so I never really thought anything of it. I just, rolled with it. And I used it as prescribed at the beginning. But then it wasn't enough anymore. So I started using more. When I The first time I ever had it when my second husband gave it to me, it was done IV. That's what they did in the hospital. But when I got home, I couldn't do it myself. So I just took the pills. But then when it was no longer enough, I decided I was going to try to shoot it into my muscle. Because I could handle that and it didn't make me as sick. It didn't hit me as quickly. And so I could function. Well, with any addiction, it got to a point where it wasn't enough anymore. I don't blame my second husband for my addiction. Because the first time, and he introduced me to it. I totally admit that. Sorry, mascara. But the first time that I stuck that needle into my own vein, I took ownership of my addiction. That was my choice. It got to the point, like I said, I used for 8 years. It got to a point where I was fully functioning. My second husband became terminally ill with end-stage liver failure and was on hospice. I could administer meds through a feeding tube while I was high. I was what is considered a functioning addict. July 25th of 2014 is when my second husband passed away. July 27th of 2014 was the last day that I used. And I did it trying to take my own life. Sorry. I tend to tear up. So my mom was the one that found me. Got me to a hospital. From the hospital, I spent 8 hours in the ER while they were trying to control my blood pressure. From there, I went to a behavioral health center for a medical detox. I spent 2 weeks there trying to detox without it killing me. And from there, I went into rehab. I spent 8.5 months in rehab. But it was finally in rehab that I learned my worth. And I learned how to love myself. And I learned what love was actually supposed to look like. Because of what I went through with my stepfather, like I said, my view of love was really messed up. I didn't understand what it was supposed to be. So when I was able to finally learn that was literally life-changing for me. And so when I came back from rehab, came back to Colorado Springs, and I knew that I needed to change things. I could not be around anybody that I was around previously because all that was going to do was get me back into the drug scene, which I did not want. So I changed my circle of friends, got involved in a church, did all that. Actually got into church leadership. That is when I was given an assignment about rejection. And I will go into that assignment in a later broadcast. But that rejection assignment is how I met my husband, my now husband. Husband number 3, best out of all of them. When he and I got together, I knew I wanted to put my story out there. I wanted to try to help other people. So I started a blog called This Fat Girl Life. And that's what it was. It was my story. It was, sorry, I need my coffee. I talked about everything in there. I talked about finding a lump in my breast. I talked about my addiction. I talked about losing my mother. Talked about trying on a swimsuit, for crying out loud. Which, if you are a female watching this, you already know a swimsuit is one of the scariest things you will ever try on in your life. Forgive my dogs, my cat moved. Therefore, they must go crazy. But I put everything out there, and people responded. So I knew, right? Winston, I totally agree with you. Swimsuit shopping sucks. It's so hard. But people responded to my blog. So I was like, okay, there's something more I'm supposed to do with this, right? So I started looking into life coaching. And figured out about halfway through, I am not meant to be a life coach. I do work one-on-one with clients if there's a really good connection. I have my certification. I went through all of it. But I have a big mouth and a very small filter. Not a good combination. So that's how I became a podcaster. As a podcaster, I could say whatever I want. It's my show. So that's how podcasting came to be. My first podcast that I started is Hi Duke, welcome to my broadcast. The first one is called This Fat Girl Life. And it's my life, basically. It's the things that I struggled with. I talk about knowing your worth, about loving yourself in the body that you are in, which is something that both men and women struggle with. And for anybody to say that they love themselves 100% all the time, I call bullshit. It's a lie because nobody does. My big one is depression. And that's something a lot of people struggle with. And that actually that comment alone kind of leads to my second podcast. The past year that we have had has been really hard. It's been mentally draining. It's been hard physically. I mean, we are not meant to be isolated. So I started the Rope of Hope, which that's basically what it is. It's a podcast of people sharing stories of things that they've dealt with, be it, I actually have somebody coming on tonight who dealt with such severe PTSD and depression that he literally found himself hiding in a fetal position under his desk at work for 3 hours. And that's when he knew he needed help. And so he's actually going to come on tonight on my show and share his story. He's going to talk about what he went through. and how he was able to kind of, I don't want to say move past it because that's not the right words, but how he learned to deal with it and how he learned to make it through that struggle. So that's tonight at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard. It'll be live on Facebook if you want to watch it. He's an amazing person. And then I started my third podcast just last month called Big Beautiful Badasses, which is all about celebrating the plus size community. Women especially. You know, a lot of times I do speak from a female perspective. I'm a fat woman. It's what it is. But 67 to 72% of all women in the United States are considered plus size. If you are an extra large or bigger, you're plus size. So if over half of the population is plus size, why is there such a stigma about it? Why is it not normalized? And again, it's very important for me to spread my message of you'll be loving yourself in the body that you're in. Because if you can't love yourself in the body that you're in now, it does not matter what body you're in 10 years, you're not going to love yourself then either. It is all, you don't have to love every part of yourself. There are things about me that I don't love. I jokingly use my chin as an example. Yes, I have a double chin. I hate my double chin. Hate it. I'm looking at the angle right now. I'm like, oh my God, it looks so bad. But I have learned to appreciate it. If I am sitting in my armchair watching a movie with my husband and I doze off, I have a really nice pillow. It serves a purpose. So I don't love it, but I appreciate it. It has purpose. And so that's what I mean when I say love yourself in the body you're in. Nobody loves everything 100% of the time, guys. Hi, Amy. And that's normal. It is perfectly normal. But it's a matter of learning to appreciate it. Finding purpose. Finding that silver lining. So with Big Beautiful Badasses, you know, I'm celebrating the fact that there are so many fluffy people. We're so fluffy. But I love my body. I love who I am. So that's important to me. And that's why I do these podcasts. But again, you know, with this being my 7th year, I wanted to celebrate. And so I want to celebrate other people's recovery as well. So again, it does not matter how much time you have clean or sober. If you are on day 1 of this journey, or if you're 15 years in on this journey, if you want to share your recovery story on my podcast, I would love to have you as a guest. So again, you can just email me at podcast@thisfatgirllife.com. I know I can put that on at least one of these streams. I will put it right here on this one. Send me an email. Slide into my DMs. You can go to Instagram and slide into my DMs there. It's Kimberly. That's KIMBERLEE _ Pleasure. P as in Paul, L-E-Z as in zebra, I-A. That's how you find me on Instagram. Slide into my DMs there. Find me on Facebook, same name. Hey, sweetie, how are you? But just send me a message, whatever app you're on. If you're on TikTok, Kim.Plesia. Pokacha, Kim.Plesia. I'm everywhere. I'm on Instagram. Just search my name and you're gonna find me. But just send me a message. Let me know that you want to share your recovery story. And I will gladly set up a meeting with you so that we can talk about it. Because, again, guys, we do recover. It gets better. Yeah, it's hard. It is very hard. But it's worth it. My life since I quit using has changed immensely. When I was using, I wasn't working. I did not have a relationship with my family. I allowed myself to be in situations that I never thought I would allow. I allowed people to treat me in a manner that I never thought I would allow. Now, 7 years later, I am married to an amazing man. I have bought a house. I work a 9 to 5 that I've been at for 6 years. And I own my own business. Recovery changed my life. And I want to put this out there. If you are watching this, if you're watching a replay of this, and you have not hit that stage of recovery, you're still in that addiction, you're still struggling, and you just need someone to talk to, send me a message. I am here. I am awake from 5:45 in the frickin' morning till usually midnight or a little bit later. If I don't respond immediately, I will respond when I see the message. You're not alone. You're not alone in your struggle. Because I've been there. And I don't want to see anybody struggle with this. If you are a family member of somebody who is in their addiction and you need somebody to talk to, you don't get it, you don't understand it, send me a message. I will walk you through it. Because again, I've been there, I've been the addict. I don't even know what else to say. Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you. I'm no different than anybody else. We all struggle with things. I'm just willing to put mine out there. You guys, pardon the tears. Sharing all of this is a lot, and there's a lot that I haven't shared. But again, this is how I want to celebrate 7 years of sobriety, 7 years of being clean, because it has not always been easy. There have been times that I've been tempted. The day I lost my mom. Thank you. The day I lost my mom, I almost used. My now husband unknowingly saved my life that day. I already had a call into my dealer. And right as I got off the phone with her, John called me. Now, he and I hadn't even had our first date at that point. We were still just talking. But he called me and asked if I wanted to go get coffee. That moment saved my life. I now deal with permanent nerve damage in my right leg and foot. I've had to go to the ER a couple times for it, especially when it first started and we didn't know what the problem was. All we knew is that I was in pain, excruciating pain. I couldn't stand up straight. It hurt to walk. I really couldn't walk hardly at all. And it was bad. And even in the hospital, they wanted to give me pain meds. And I knew the path that could take me down. So I allowed them to give me muscle relaxers. I allowed Percocet. That's the strongest I was willing to take because I knew that slippery slope. And even now, I am on nerve medication. I have pain meds that are prescribed that I rarely take. I do a lot of hemp gummies because it's non-narcotic, it's not addictive, but it helps with the pain. And I'm able to function. And that's all I need. I need to be able to function. That's the priority. But I have, a 30-day prescription that I was given in April that I still have half of because I don't want to go down that road again. I find myself, holding myself accountable. Like I'll tell my husband when I take pain meds because I want somebody else to know that I've done it. It's not, I don't want to hide it. I don't want it to be a shameful thing. So I'll tell him. He's never asked me to do that. But it's something that I know I have to do for my own accountability. As a recovered addict, we do those things. And that's part of recovery. So, all of that being said, wipe away some tears. I do have a podcast episode that's going to be starting in 35 minutes that I need to finish preparing for. So I am going to hop off of here. For some of these streams, this was my first live ever. So thank you for being here with me. I have felt truly loved doing this today. And I'm going to start doing these more frequently. But if, again, one last time, if you are in a place of recovery and you would like to share your story, please reach out to me. Slide into my DMs. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm in so many different places. But, you can also email me at podcast. Yeah. How far away are you from that, sweetheart? I could probably help you out with that. My email address is podcast@thisfatgirllife.com. Oh, 4 minutes, honey. You got it. In fact, I'll put on my second layer of mascara while we're doing that. Because I can use the screens to do my mascara. So y'all bear with me while I put on some mascara. Mad Lash Black Mascara. It's a new mascara. Love my Ipsy box. You are welcome, love. The beauty of crying, I feel like I wiped away some of my mascara. Okay, there we go. So yeah, podcast@thisfatgirllife.com. If you would like to reach out to share your story on one of my podcasts or slide into one of my DMs, I will respond as quickly as I can. Once I get your message, I will send you the online form to fill out. Once I get the online form back, I will email you my meeting calendar to set up a Zoom meeting. Everything's done remotely, so you never have to leave your house. Oh, and if you would like to support my podcast as a listener, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/thisfatgirllife. By being a supporter, you can do a one-time support. You can do a membership. There's 2 different membership levels. By being a listener supporter, you have access to supporter-only content. I'm also going to be starting a supporter chat group where you will get daily inspiration. And yep, I actually have 3 podcasts, son. So if you want to support my podcast, if you want to check them out, they're all on Facebook, or you can go to my YouTube channel, which is under This Fat Girl Life. Just search This Fat Girl Life on YouTube, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. But I also have a supporter site for anybody who wants to be a financial supporter of my podcast and keep me caffeinated. I live for coffee. And this is so good. Oh my God. Oh. Perfect. I'd love that. Thank you. But yeah, as a supporter, you will get daily inspiration sent to you straight to your inbox. Daily level 2, I think, gets the daily videos. Level 1 gets the group chat. I also have a Facebook page dedicated as a Facebook group for women called This Fat Girl Life group, which I'm happy to send to anybody who's interested. And I'm going to be starting doing some things on there that's just for that group. So there's definitely a lot of different ways to support my small business, support me as a broadcaster, as a podcaster. Yeah, that's pretty much how all of it works. So I am hoping that everybody has just such an amazing day today. I want to share one last thing. And this is actually from a guest who has appeared on my podcast. I have a friend, Lana, who was a guest on my podcast, The Rope of Hope. And I asked her at the end of the episode what the most inspiring thing she had ever been told was. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. It does not cost you anything to be nice to somebody. To give somebody a hug that needs it. Just be kind to each other. That is how we change the world. There is so much crap going on. Kindness makes a difference. I'm glad you got your last box, sweetie. I am going to hop off of here so that I can get ready for Big Beautiful Badasses. If you want to watch the live, it is going to be on Facebook. Just look up Big Beautiful Badasses and it'll take you straight to the Facebook page. I'm going to have Cece Fields on, who is an amazing woman. She is a plus size actress, and we are going to have a great conversation. So I'd love to see you there. If I don't see you guys later on today, I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you for being with me through my tears, for listening to me ramble at some points, for being supportive. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to all of you later. Bye, guys.